So people who miss the demo classes, like demo class, like we are just started. It's like a very basics. So
Sir, I
reach out.
did not get
Your name?
product.
You didn't get Ronak?
Yes, sir. Did not get.
It's a black screen and no audio. I think my screen is fine, right?
Yes, sir. I am seeing.
I think Manjunath, check your internet, okay? I think so. Your internet is big. This is my WhatsApp number. Okay, share 7829479. Yeah. If you didn't receive your video, yes, demo started. So if you didn't receive the recording video, please WhatsApp me. You didn't receive your video, like previous session video, ping me your email ID, then I can only share. Okay. So what happened?
Right now I think
Yeah,
I
you
message
can.
you.
Okay, okay. You can ping after session. Okay, no problem.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. So let me do one thing. Why it is coming? Okay. So I'll continue whatever we have done, right? So I'm just writing a Amazon, like it's already we have classes in my system. Okay, so what we have done yesterday, like how to we are learning how to execute Java code, like what is the use of class keyword, what is class block. Okay, when you will write what is system.out.println, if you will write system.out.println as a class block, this is your class block and this is your method block, right? So this is your method block and this is your class block. So when you will write system.out.println as a class block, we were getting some compile time error. Why? Logic will not allowed as a compile, sorry, as a class level. So system is your class, out is your variable, and println is your method. And this is your print statement, and this is your overloaded method. Okay, so that's why logic will not allowed as a class block. Where you can write the logic, you can write logic inside this method block, or a static inside is a static block, non-static block, or constructor. But logic we cannot write inside this block. The question is, if I will write here, okay, so we were getting some compile time error, and I'm creating one method. So no worries, what is method? Just we can understand this is a user defined method which is created by us. Okay. In this scenario, why this guys are not able to see? I think everyone is able to see, right? Uh,
Yes. Ask him to join back, log out and join back.
yeah, rejoin. Okay, so here this is your method block, right? So how Java will execute? Your Java will not execute in your operating system. You must having the JDK. If you will install the JDK, then we have a JRE, we have a JVM, and we have a compiler, right? So we in my systems, it's already have my first session. I have already discussed how to configure with this edit plus. And if you guys are not able to, please let me know. I will help you. Okay. So here, when I will press controls +1, it will compile, and when I will press, it will execute. What the compiler will do? Okay. So let me show you that pic. Okay, you guys can understand. Uh, so this is what we have. Okay, so this is compiler. What the compiler will do, right? It will create dot class file. Okay, Java virtual machine is not able to understand what you are writing. Okay, what we are writing. This is the human readable language. But so what I was telling, yeah, JVM is not able to understand what we are writing. JVM only understand dot class file. What is dot class file? So you guys, I think understand why compiler, why compilation. If your code is not compiled successfully, that you are not able to execute, right? So first of all, you have to check your what? You have to check your, see, this is what the class file, dot class file. Okay, so this is the bytecode and this is the machine code. This code only JVM will understand. So compiler is very intelligent. If I will compile this code here, now I am able to compile, right? So what you understand, just visualize as a project level. So we have a one project, right? So in one project, we have a multiple classes. Just I can take the example of our framework, Selenium framework. But that classes, we have to, how to maintain this. We cannot write each and everything in a one class. But execution will start from your main method, right? So you have developed one functionality, like we have a one class, we're going to store only reusable method. That method we will call in our test runner class, right? So here, this is the compiled, this file is compiled. So what you understand, without main method, we can compile the code. Dot class file is generated. When you will press Control 2, without main method, we cannot execute, Java code. Why? Because JVM only interact, right? How the JVM will interact with our means user or developer. We are the user or developer. We have written the code. Dot class file is also generated, but still we are not able to, execute this code. This error we are getting at a runtime, not a compile time. Okay, this error we are getting, you will get two types of the error: compile time error or runtime error. So this is, let me do one thing. If now I press Control 1, this is the compile time error. Compiler is saying what you are writing, this is not Java concept. This is the illegal startup type. So we have to understand compile time error and runtime error, right? So we'll discuss. Okay, in exception handling, compile time, we are getting the exception or runtime. So it's depend upon the development as well, right? Got it, right? So here we were getting compile time error, and now we understand why this compile time error, because you are writing this as a class block. That is not Java concept is saying you cannot write a logic as a class block. You can define something, you can declare something, but if you want to write the logic, you have to write inside this class block, or you have to write inside this constructor, or a static block or non-static block. Okay, so once again, I'll create one file. So Java people develop one inbuilt method that is called main method. The question is why main method? Okay, first of all, understand what is method. Do you know what is method? Main is your method, but before main, what is method? What the method will do? If you are a software engineer, where you can implement method concept in your code, in your project. So if you, I think guys, you know already, like if you in C, we have a function, in Java, we have a method. Okay. So I will give you one scenario here. The scenario is we have 100 test cases. Okay. This 100 test cases, you have to log in, right? Without login, how you can validate? Login app. Then second common validation you have to do, validate title. And third validation you have to do, validate title and log out application. So when you will write this, if you will try to automate it, this 3 steps of the validation, it will, you have to write 15 line of the code. Okay. So this is the one thing, right? So just consider this is your first test cases. Okay. This is your first test cases. You are writing again 15 line of the code. Okay. You are writing 15 line of the code. Again, you are, when you are writing the another test cases, okay, so again you are writing this 15 line of the code. Are you seeing something? Like this is the common, this is the repeated steps. So what we can do, I will create one separate class. Okay, I'll create a separate class, helper. Okay, what I can do, I will create one block. That block is called method block. Okay, I will create void login app, right? So when I am going to log in the app, it will take like 5 line of the code. I will write everything I will implement in Selenium also, what I am showing you. Then you can create another method called validate the title, right? This is your validate the title, right? And you have another block you have created like log out the application, right? Log out. What I can do? What is the profit for this? What is the profit? Why we use method? If you have any repeated thing, right? So this method concept will help you to reuse these steps. So this method you can call in any class, any test case. Here it will save your time, right? Every time you should not write this line number of the code. Simply I will call this method here, right? I will access helper dot login app. Another test cases, I can again write the same thing. So this 5 line of the code, I should not write in 100 test cases now, because I have implemented inside this method block, and in method block, we can reuse this. Hope you guys understand why we use method. So this is your main job. Not, if you think you are a tester, but keep in your mind, you guys are not a tester until unless you have to develop your code. Okay. So developer is working on the different framework, and we will work on the different framework, but the code you have to implement yourself. Okay. Understood, right? So main is also a method. how many users are using Java, right? If you will go, I think billions of the users are using. You can see this main method is also common for every users. This logic they have implemented inside this JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So what happened here? What happened? We are the users, and this is our JVM software. Okay, this is our JVM. JVM developer have developed this common method inside this main method. In JVM software, this is your main method logic is already there. While doing the testing, this JVM developer, what issue they have found, this user, what it will write, JVM will not understand. Okay, JVM will not understand what you are writing. Okay, so someone will ask, we have a method concept, right? Then why main method? We have a different types of the method, right? We have a abstract method, we have a concrete method, we have a static method, we have a non-static method, we have a parameterized method, non-parameterized method, void type, non-void type, return type, return a statement, return with value, right? JVM is a software, right? This is a static, it will not a dynamic. So what developer has done here, if any users try to execute any Java code or Java application, JVM will search in this class main method is there or not. If main method is not there, you have seen like it will you will get one console message, error message. Hey, please define the main method, otherwise I'm not able to execute your code. Control will go inside this main method. And this is automatically call by the JVM, but this method you have to call yourself. We'll explore next topic is your method only. We will explore. So what happened when you will execute your code, control will go inside this main method. Okay. Hope you understand why we required main method. Once again. Till now, anyone having any doubt? Why main method? I told you, right, why we use method. So we can have any repeated things. We can write inside this function and we can reuse. So it will, what is the profit for that? The profit is the same thing, you have to not write the code, right? Whatever the repeated things are there, so it will increase our productivity. It will increase, like readability of the code, right? Looks good. And maintenance is also easy. This is the complete syntax of method. Okay, so you can see we have a public. What is public? This is the complete syntax of method creation. This is called accessibility modifier. Public, private, protected, and default. Public means, I told you, right? When you will create a method, you can access anywhere in your project. Private means you can access within the class. Protected means subclass you can access outside the package. And what is the default? You can access within the package. We will explore later, but this is your accessibility modifier. When you will create a method, this is your optional. As per the project requirement, we can use. This is called accessibility modifiers. Okay, I will tell you we have a two types of the member, a static and non-static member. Why we write a static member, right? We'll discuss. This is also optional. As per the project requirement, we will we can use. This is called return type. Okay, this is mandatory. Without return type, it will not work. What is void and non-void type we will discuss later. Okay, what is void and non-void type we will discuss later. This is called your method name. This is mandatory, and this is called parenthesis. Okay, this is also mandatory. This parenthesis is required, but this parameter is optional. Okay, this is the inbuilt method developed by the Java people. Why? Because it will interact with the users. This is your a string. A string is your inbuilt class, and this is called your a special class. And this bracket is nothing but this is your array. Okay, and this is your variable that is called command line argument. We'll discuss later here. Hope you guys understand how this like syntax of the method, and this is your method block and why we required main method. Okay, so now if I will compile this code and if I will execute this code in main, if I will compile this, able to compile, if I will execute this. Yes, Sarita, tell me.
So Mohit, you told these public strategies are optional. So is that meaning if we're not writing them, will that code work, or we need to
See,
replace them?
for main method, okay, for main method we will use this, but if you will have a many things for the main method also, understood, right? But for the user defined method, okay, while creating the user defined method, so these are the optional. This is also optional here. Not sure I didn't remove that, but here if you will not remove, let's see what happened.
Belestanida, Mohita.
Sorry. No, in main method you must be define here. For user defined method it is optional. Okay, actually I was discussing about of complete method syntax. For main method it is mandatory. You can see it's not working, but few of like scenario I will give you some list of the main method where we can use like as per the what I can say as per the customized main method, and that is come inside this development. Okay,
Okay.
Sarita. Okay,
Okay.
so this syntax I will not tell regarding this method. This is for your user defined method, but yeah, some of the scenario we have. Okay, I will give you that list, but here without this it is not working. You can compile this and you can execute this. Here it's not understanding, main method is not found, because here the main method reason behind this is your static. Okay, do one thing, just I'm removing public. No, because here we have to define the public as well, because here it will come accessibility modifier. It must be a public. Public means here we are not like this main method is not understanding. This is like here you are getting the, if you are not defining this public, it will become the default, and default will access within the package. Why the static is required here? Because if you will not define this static, main method will not, you cannot able to access a static member when get memory when you know provided by the JVM only. So when you will not define the static here, what will happen? We this main method or any static member will not get memory. Okay, so actually this syntax, I think, thank you for that. I should explain here, but just I explain this complete syntax for user defined method, not for main method. Okay, Okay, one more thing I need to discuss here. Okay, you can see only it is executing in main. Why? Hello world is not printing here. Any idea?
Because we are not calling M1 method after that in the main method.
So what is the conclusion? This like what is the conclusion for that? Main method will call by the JVM, but user
Yes.
defined method you have to call. Okay.
Yes.
So as a class level, we have a two types of the method. One is your abstract method, one is your concrete method. So again, this is your concrete method. Uh, okay, time is already completed. So we'll discuss tomorrow, a static and non-static method. Okay. So just I will give you some overview. We have a static and we have a non-static. You can see main method is a static. A static member will get memory when class is loaded into the JVM. JVM by default will give the memory of a static member. Okay, so here you should not create an object, and a static is the common copy of memory, right? So if you have a common requirement, like you have to develop the functionality of login or any business things are there, I can create a static, right? Unnecessary object we should not create. Okay, guys, I'll continue this session tomorrow, and tomorrow is your last demo session. Okay, we'll discuss later the people who missed the session. Okay, please WhatsApp me, then I am able to share the video. Okay. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow. Bye. If you have any concern, anything, reach out personally on my WhatsApp.